Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Strixhaven draft. We're going to take Elite Spellbinder. I actually really like this card. Little sad to pass Guiding Voice, Mortality Spear, Village Rites, Study Break, but Spellbinder's great, so we'll take Spellbinder. All right. we could take the Mana Tithe. I don't think that's correct. I think Silverquill Apprentice is fine. Mana Tithe might actually wheel. So environmental sciences would be a fine pickup here. Same with Pilgrim, same with Study Break, but this actually pumps selectively. We choose which creature. Yeah, I'll take Silverquill Apprentice. For some reason I thought that this was basically just the Lorehold Pledge Mage, and I didn't actually read that properly. Okay, Expanded Anatomy would be huge. Arrogant Poet, we can hopefully get another one of. Show of Confidence, if we can get like a Make Your Mark and Defiant Strike, could actually be insane. Especially with this Silverquill Apprentice. I'm going to go for the uncommon here, although I think Expanded Anatomy might be the best card. You know what? I'm going to take Expanded Anatomy. People are more likely to pick this card than Show of Confidence. Show of Confidence may wheel. Ooh, I really want this Duress, but I think I gotta go with a Lash of Malice. This being removal and occasionally extra damage is pretty fantastic. I really like this card. In fact, I think this card is almost strictly better than Dismember. Or not Dismember. No, not Dismember. Disfigure. Because generally you're using it to kill stuff, and very rarely are you using Disfigure to survive lethal damage or shrink the power of something. So, I'll take the Lash of Malice. Stonebinder's Familiar. Now, this is another card that potentially can get huge. The problem is you have to have a repeatable way to put stuff into exile. And right now we only have Elite Spellbinder as a way to do that. So I'm going to take Spirit Summoning, put that in the sideboard, because I do want a lot of good lessons. Pest Summoning's not bad. Promising Duskmage is okay. Kind of want Beaming Defiance, because the hexproof on this card is pretty crazy good, so we'll take Beaming Defiance. Okay, there's Detention Vortex if we want more removal. I think this card is pretty good removal. The fact that you can only activate it on your opponent, or your opponent can only activate it on their turn, is kind of a big deal. I'm going to go with the Silverquill Pledge Mage, though. It's another evasive creature. We could maybe make it bigger than with the Apprentice, and then give it like lifelink or something. So I'll take the Pledge Mage. Combat Professor is one of the best creatures in white, I would argue. Just because it's a flying 4-mana 3/3 Vigilance by itself, and with other creatures, potentially it gives your best creature Vigilance. Introduction to Prophecy, I don't mind having as a lesson. Mana Tithe came all the way around. I think Pilgrim of Ages is a better card, because it's like, this card is actually really insane card advantage. On the other hand, we could just go gotcha with the Mana Tithe. / we could do, to turn on Magecraft and stuff like that. But I think I take the Pilgrim. Mana Tithe is very difficult to make work. If we get him, though, it's insane. But, okay, I will take Make Your Mark, even though it's a little bit narrow for this deck. Throw a random bear in the sideboard. Okay, I'll throw Vortex Runner in the sideboard, because I don't think I'm taking Dragon's Approach. Sure. And Thrilling Discovery, sideboard. Pack 2. Thunderous Orator, I think, is the best. There's 3 rares in this pack. None of them are ours. Thunderous Orator, I think, is the best card for us. Star Pupil, if it wheels, can actually be quite good. Just getting on the board turn 1 and then upgrading a creature later when this dies by blocking is fantastic. Return Past Caller is insane. If you're in the Lorehold deck and you get 2 of these, you basically have infinite endgame, because they can buy themselves back. Or they can buy the other one of themselves back, and you just make a loop. But we're going to go with the aggressive Orator. Okay, Radiant Scroll Wielder is about as good as it gets when it comes to creatures. The problem is we're going to have no instants and sorceries in white, or really even black, that are going to deal damage. So that means we take either Agonizing Remorse, Lash of Malice, or Show of Confidence. We do have some Magecraft, so Show of Confidence is tempting. I wouldn't mind an Inkling Summoning, because getting a flying token's pretty good. We have no learn spells yet, though. So I'm going to go with the Show of Confidence, I think. Agonizing Remorse I've seen wheel quite a bit. An Eye Twitch or another Silverquill Apprentice? I think I take the 1-mana 1/1 that learns, simply because I have several lessons that I would like and have no way to learn them yet. Something from this pack should wheel for us. Hopefully. Alright. So our picks here are Shield Mage, Make Your Mark, or Ageless Guardian. I kind of like Make Your Mark. Stone Rain's hilarious. I think this card is actually really good and limited. Especially if you go up against a 3-color deck. I'll take another Make Your Mark. We do have the Storm spell, so it technically does matter. I will take another Combat Professor. I would like this Essence Infusion to wheel, but no guarantee on that. I also would take a Pest Summoning if it came around, but Combat Professor is just great. Inquisition of Kozilek. Interesting. I'm missing a Star Pupil and a Leech Fanatic, and we are a little bit creature-like, but creature light, but Inquisition is quite good. So I will take Inquisition. Spiteful Squad. I have like no learn spells, and I already have 3 lessons. I have 1 learn spell. So I think over a second Beaming Defiance, we'll take the Spiteful Squad. Just because we need more creatures. Go Blank. This is a card that I actually think is way better now than I did before. Because when people were casting Go Blank against us, it was just crazy good. We also have Inquisition, so like a little bit more discard support is good. Some cards have value in the grave, and Go Blank deals with them, so I'll take Go Blank. Wow, nobody's in Quandrix at all, ever. Man, I guess I take Illuminate History, but I don't think I'm playing any of those cards. Professor's Warning could be a combat trick that actually matters. Defend the Campus is removal / possibly an Anthem. I'm going to take Defend the Campus. Promising Dusk Mage is fine. But I'd rather have that or Stonerise Spirit. We have a couple of ways to put 1/1 counters on stuff. I'll go with the Dusk Mage. I'll take an Ageless Guardian because it's in our colors. It also does help up our creature count. And if we show of confidence onto it, we could make like maybe a 3/6 Vigilance for a turn, which is pretty good. I'll take a Reject for the sideboard, I guess. Dragon's Approach that I'm not playing. So what do I want? I want maybe a couple of Guiding Voice. If I could get like 2 Guiding Voice, I think this deck would be really, really good. Professor Onyx. Alright. There's a Guiding Voice, but I'm taking the Mythic, I think. Expanded Anatomy also is a card I would like. Yeah, we just take the Planeswalker, right? Like, how often do you get to draft a Mythic Planeswalker in your colors? Let's see. +1, lose a life. Then you... Oh, what is that spell from Shadows? Something Laboratory. There's Cody. Cody's not bad, but we have a lot of permanents, so I don't think I can make it work in this deck. I wouldn't mind Village Rites. Cram Session's a learn spell, and we only have 1, and it's not great. But I honestly want to take Star Pupil. Like, I really want to take Star Pupil. So I'm going to take Star Pupil. Okay. Another Lash of Malice. Oh, I would take Expanded Anatomy. I just don't have any learn spells. It's so good in this deck, too, because we've got the Silver Quill 1/1 counter shenanigans stuff going on. We got to take the Lash, though. Detention Vortex. Yeah, I guess we're taking Detention. There's a second Igneous Inspiration in this pack. Nobody's in red. Essence Infusion, Witherbloom Campus I'm not playing, Pop Quiz isn't in our colors, Professor's Warning is fine, also on key because we have Professor. We'll take the Essence Infusion though. More 1/1 counters is probably not bad for our deck. I'll take the Pilgrim of the Ages because it is a creature that does fit in our deck. We're a little bit creature light, just a little bit. I will take a Hunt for Specimens. That is exactly the kind of card that I want to help round out this deck. Triggers Magecraft, learns, that's pretty important. Exhilarating Elocution. Oh, Study Break. Study Break is a great combat trick in an aggressive deck, because you either blunt the assault or you can get in for extra damage by tapping their guys. Crushing Disappointment. I'll put it inside. Defend the Campus. I already have 1. It's unlikely we'll need 2, but we're not playing anything else in that pack. Secret Rendezvous doesn't exist. It's not a real card. Sure. Letter of Acceptance into the side. Another Thrilling Discovery we're not playing. And our Force is not playable for us. Okay, let's group creatures separately. Hunt for Specimens I'm going to count as a creature. I don't think we need Detention Vortex. We have a lot of Magecraft stuff and stuff that counts specifically instants and sorceries. So if we need removal, we know we have it. Our worst creature is probably Ageless Guardian, so I'm going to cut that. I don't think we need 2 Pilgrims of the Ages, but honestly, if it helps us get up to 6 mana for Professor Onyx, I'm good with that. I'm kind of sad we only have, what, 2 learn spells? And I think I cut 1 Make Your Mark. Alright, we got ourselves a deck. Let's do this. 8 and 8. Red mana need not apply. See you guys in round 1. Okay, round 1. We'll be on the draw. We have Eye Twitch. We don't have the basic land fetching one. I think I've got to mulligan this. It's not terrible, but this hand is way better. And we get to lead on Inquisition. What is this, Modern? Opponent starts Island. Well, let's just see what's going on over there. Opponent has Quandrix Apprentice and Emergent Sequence. I think we take the Apprentice. Emergent Sequence is not that great for them. It does fix, but we can potentially kill the land that they get. Alright, pass the turn. We might even be able to get rid of Velomachus if we get the Mind Rot off, which it looks like we should. I mean, my opponent will, in theory, be able to play Tezzeret's Gambit next turn. They get a Mountain. We untap. We draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Forest. So they're going to Tezzeret's Gambit. Load up the Mountain. They hit us for 3. We draw Make Your Mark. Play Promising Dusk Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest. Plays Professor of Zoomancy. Attacks us for 3. We untap. Draw an Eye Twitch. Play a Swamp. Play an Eye Twitch. Pass the turn. And we'll leave up Beaming Defiance or Make Your Mark. Okay, opponent plays Archway Commons. They are 1 mana away from Velomachus. They play Scurrid Colony. They go to combat. And they pass. We untap. Draw Plains. Oh, I really wish we had a kill spell for this Mountain. Because I can go blank them, but they're going to have 1 card left and it's going to be Velomachus. I think I have to actually try and hope they don't have the 7th land. If they do, this is just game over, but we need them to cast like 2 low drops here. Okay, they full price Bayou Groff. No attacks. We untap. Draw Combat Professor. Play Combat Professor. Power up the Eye Twitch. Attack for 2. They don't block with the Scurrid Colony. Pass the turn. We gotta hope that they draw not a land. Come on, play 2 cheap costed cards. You know you want to. Okay. Opponent attacks for a lot. Block here. Block here. Maker Mark. So we get to make a Spirit. And we get to learn. Let's take Expanded Anatomy. Play Maelstrom Muse. We don't have a way to make them discard any more cards. Play Silver Quill Apprentice. Load up the Combat Professor. Go to combat. Yeah. This at least prevents them from double blocking. They take 6 and go to 10. They untap. They've not been drawing that last land for Velomachus, which we are very thankful about. They're going to attack us for 5. If they do, I don't think we block. I think we just take it and go to 9. We untap. Draw Spiteful Squad. Go to combat. Power up the Combat Professor. Attack them for 5 in the air. Opponent chumps. Okay. Play Spiteful Squad. Hopefully gum up the ground. Pass the turn. Oh no! Opponent makes a treasure. Here comes the dragon. Don't like that. Block here. Block here. Block here. Not gonna block with the Combat Professor. Yeah, I'm gonna go tall here. They have to have a land to play Velomachus, but why they would play it now, I don't know. Oh, they have Crux of Fate. That's pretty good. We draw planes. Time to go blank them. Opponent discards Shock and Velomachus. We did get him. Nice. Now we just have to top deck anything before our opponent does. Oh no, a thing! We untap. Draw Essence Infusion. Pass the turn. Another thing! You can't just play things. You can't just kill all of my things and then play more things. Like an intro to Annihilation. Well, we have Beaming Defiance if that becomes relevant. They hit us for 5, we go to 2. And we die. Crux of Fate. They have Crux of Fate, Shock, Velomachus. I think I actually want this other Defend the Campus, because there's a couple of things worth smiting. Maybe not. Yeah, let's just run it back. Man. Alright, we would like to play first. Well, it's a slower hand, but it's one that should work. Play Plains, pass the turn. When it plays a Silver Quill Campus, we draw an Eye Twitch, so play an Eye Twitch, pass the turn. When it plays a Scurrid Colony, we draw a Star Pupil, play a Plains, play Pilgrim of the Ages, get another Plains, pass the turn, no attacks. Opponent untaps, plays a Mountain, Tezzeret's Gambit, they get to draw cards. We untap and draw Plains, play a Plains, go to combat, attack. No blocks by the opponent. Okay. Play Star Pupil. Play Pilgrim of the Ages. Thin our deck some more. Pass the turn. At least we're making our land drops. Opponent now has 8 cards in hand. Plays a Forest. Plays the Professor of Zoomancy. We untap. Draw an Essence Infusion. Play a Plains. I think I'm going to put counters on the Star Pupil and attack. Okay, opponent no blocks will gain 3. Pass the turn. I don't think they would have played that out if they were just going to hold, like, sandbag into a Wrath here with Crux of Fate. There's a decent chance I should hold on to whatever creature I draw next. Second Professor. Okay, well, I don't think they're going to Wrath. That much makes sense to me. We draw Thunderous Orator. Play Plains. You know what? Go to combat. Attack for 3. No blocks. They're going to go to 9. Okay, I'm just going to hold on to the Thunderous Orator for now. Emergent Sequence. Opponent gets an island. So they're missing land drops. I'm going to double block with the Pilgrims and chump with the Eye Twitch. Okay, we get to learn. So let's take Expanded Anatomy. On our opponent's end step, we'll pick up a Pilgrim. Untap. We draw Show of Confidence. Play Pilgrim. Get a Plains. Play the Plains. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Okay, opponent double blocks. So let's Beaming Defiance. Opponent has Lightning Helix, so we can Show of Confidence. This should keep it alive. They deal 3, but we still get its toughness up to 7. So it kills both their guys. They gain a life. Alright, pass the turn. We're going to leave this Pilgrim of Ages on board. We're not blocking with it, because we need a creature on board just in case they have a way to kill Star Pupil. Opponent, Expressive Iteration. Yeah, could you imagine if you had Stone Rain versus this opponent? Because they're like 5 colors, you know, double black. Black's not even one of their primary colors. They put Professor of Zoomancy in the exile zone. They drew a land. They play the bear. They're attacking us for 4, that's fine. We untap. Draw a swamp. Play a swamp. It's not a trick, but we can Expanded Anatomy here. Play Thunderous Orator. Go to combat. Attack them for 7. Opponent chumps. Okay. I'm tempted to just go blank them right now. Yeah, I'm gonna. There might technically be a better time to do this, but I think now is about as good as any. Okay. So opponent discarded Maelstrom Muse and Prismari Apprentice. They draw. They play Spectacle Mage and pass. We untap. We draw Make Your Mark. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Opponent chumps. Sure. Pick up the Pilgrim, pass the turn. Man, just random 3-mana 2/1s you can keep recycling is pretty powerful and limited. Opponent plays a Frostboil Snarl into an Elemental Masterpiece. That's kind of annoying. We untap. Oh, they're attacking. Yeah, why wouldn't they? Do we trade here? I think we trade. So we take 6. We go to 13. Untap and draw Study Break. Play the Pilgrim. Get a Plains. Play the Plains. Go to combat. Attack for 7. If they double block, we make your mark. If they don't, we'll have to Study Break next turn. But they would be taking 7. I'm kind of hoping they block. They don't. They take 7. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. And the haymakers keep coming. So we'll go ahead and tap. We have no removal. So I think we take Intro to Prophecy here. When it goes to combat, they attack for 4. Yeah, I think we still do this, even though we don't kill their creature. Make a Spirit. We would need another Study Break to win here, and we don't have anything like that, I don't think. Elite Spellbinder. So start Intro to Prophecy. Plains to the bottom. Combat Professor to the bottom. We get Inquisition. I guess Inquisition. Take Bayou Gruff. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Opponent chumps. And we'll go ahead and play Elite Spellbinder here. Take Quandrix Apprentice from them, though they can just play that. Yeah, if we'd had another Study Break there, we could have gotten them. Opponent plays Quandrix Apprentice. Attacks it for 13 exactly. This has Vigilance. Why does this have Vigilance? Chump so we don't die. I mean, it's not like we have a board wipe. I guess Hunt for Specimens. Take a Spirit Summoning. Scoop. Dang it. 5-color nonsense. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in match 2. Alrighty, welcome back to round 2, everybody. So, it's been a couple of days since I've had time to record. Had a major desktop malfunction this morning. And, yeah. Just barely recovered from that. Was really worried I was going to have to expedite all of my desktop building plans with money I don't have. But thankfully we got it fixed. And hopefully this will decrease the lag issue that we've been having on Modo. No guarantee on the second part there, but TLDR, I had a power outage last night, and my computer decided that my drivers for the water cooler were corrupt, and deleted, uninstalled them, or left them in place, and they were just unusable. But yeah, my my water cooler wasn't working, and so my computer wouldn't even boot up. And I had to do a whole bunch of like BIOS configuration just to disable the alert that I was receiving so I could get in long enough to diagnose the problem. And I'm not like a hardware expert at all. So yeah, it was something, but it's fixed now, and that's what matters. We'll give the Eye Twitch 1-0 in Vigilance, and then attack. Attack with the Eye Twitch. I'm completely expecting my opponent to block. Ah, they have Make Your Mark, so they get to learn and they get a token. So opponent gets to learn first. They learn Introduction to Annihilation. I think we take Spirit Summoning or Prophecy. Expanded Anatomy could be good, but I think I take the Prophecy here. The only reason I'm doing that is because my opponent did take a removal spell, so I don't want to go tall right now. Okay, opponent has D-Spark to kill our 4-drop. Sorry, was distracted for a minute. Okay, opponent is attacking with their 3-2. If they've got a trick, that's fine. I'm actually going to trade here. Okay, we untap. We draw Swamp. So, play Plains. And I can play Combat Professor this turn, because then I can double spell with Dusk Mage and Introduction to Prophecy next turn. But I suspect there is a chance my opponent just casts Intro to Annihilation next turn if they don't have a play. And if that's the case, I want them to take out the lower value creature with it, because Combat Professor is one of the best creatures in our deck. Okay, opponent has Pilgrim of the Ages, that's fine. They get a Plains, and pass. We untap. We draw Lash of Malice. So, play a Swamp, and I think we intro to Prophecy here. There's a Make Your Mark. Do I want to draw Make Your Mark? Yeah, I think I do. Because then what I can do is Make Your Mark their creature, and then Lash of Malice it and attack. This is a little bit greedy, because if they have a hexproof spell, we'll get a little bit blown out, but... Okay, they do have Beaming Defiance. Alright. I should have attacked and let all the blocking and stuff happen first. So we did get blown out by Beaming Defiance. I think this card is pretty good. Opponent plays a land. And they play Shadrix Silverquill, so we are probably toast. So we get a 3/4 on our Promising Dusk... Or we get a token or a counter on our Promising Dusk Mage. Okay, I think we hunt for specimens. We don't have any of the removal lessons, which kind of sucks. We know our opponent has Intro to Annihilation, so I think we just take Spirit Summoning here. Play it, play a Swamp, pass the turn. Yeah, Mythic Rares are pretty good. Opponent plays a land. They're going to exile the Promising Dusk Mage. That makes sense. They make an Inkling, and we get a 1/1 counter on some... Oh, we get a 1/1 counter on each creature we control? They attack us for 4, that's fine. We untap, we draw Plains. So play a Plains, play Combat Professor, go to combat, we'll put a... Well, we'll give the Pest Vigilance. Attack. Opponent might double block the Spirit or trade with the Pest with the Pilgrim. Okay. So they take 4, we lose the Pest and gain a life. Play Pilgrim of Ages, go and get a Plains. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Eager First Year. So they're going wide enough that they may, if they want to keep picking modes, they may want to put 1/1 counters on their stuff. They're going to make us lose life, so we draw a card. Okay, take the damage, because I'm not blocking. This has Double Strike. Why does this have Double Strike? Okay, we draw a Lash of Malice. Yeah, I don't think I can win this. Alright. So that's pretty good. Do we have anything that might work for this? Our Smite effect isn't very good. Detention Vortex might be. I think it's a little bit narrow. I think we just try to have a more aggressive hand. We also didn't draw our Mythic. They drew theirs. We'll play first. Alright, yeah, we got lots of hand hate. So we'll try keeping this. Hopefully Inquisition can disrupt them. So we get some information. Alright. Take Killian from them. Pass the turn. They play a Swamp. We untap. Draw a Swamp. Not what I want to see. Pass the turn. I'd like to see creatures now. Plays Plains. We untap. We draw Professor Onyx. Alright, if we ever get there, it'll be good. Okay, they play a tap land, which we didn't know about. We draw our own Beaming Defiance. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. So they can play a Combat Professor this turn. Okay. We untap. We draw Plains. I think we have to go blank this turn. It's not very effective, because they can just probably keep a land and Shadrix. They got rid of 2 Make Your Marks. Alright. Pass the turn. If I have to play Liliana as just an Edict, that's pretty sad. Especially because if they're putting 1/1 counters on their stuff, that's horrible. Okay. They hit us for 3 with Vigilance. We untap and draw a Silverquill Pledge Mage. Sure. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They draw. They play Owlin Shield Mage. They go to combat. They're going to buff Shadrix with Double Strike. So now, because they made that play, even if we Beaming Defiance, we can't actually block. We can't block and kill Shadrix. We can't Edict Shadrix either. God, this is so bad. All their creatures have flying. If I Beaming Defiance, I can make this a 5/3 with flying and kill Combat Professor. It just seems bad, though. I think I'm dead. I don't think there's anything I can do here. So we untap. Yeah. That sucks. We just didn't draw anything. Alright, moving on to round 3. Alright, we got a 1, a 2, and a 3, so this seems decent. We are on the draw, though. This would be a much better hand on the play. We can Essence Infusion on star people to make them better. Okay, we're probably losing Essence Infusion. Okay. We draw a Study Break, so play star people. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest and passes. We draw Professor Onyx. I'm glad that didn't get duressed. Go to combat. I probably should have played the Apprentice first, just in case they had some sort of... or they decided to kill it during combat as opposed to before, but this is fine. Okay, opponent plays a Field Trip. They get a Forest. We untap. Draw Beaming Defiance. Go to combat. Hit them for 3. I wonder... No, we definitely have to leave up Beaming Defiance. Pass the turn. We'd be a lot better off if we'd had that Essence Infusion. Okay, opponent plays Mage Hunter. We could tap it on their end step. I actually think I'm going to, because if I draw a land, this makes our next move a bit better. So we can take Expanded Anatomy here. Untap. Still no land. Go to combat. Hit him for 3. If we drew a land there, we could play Expanded Anatomy, and we would have an actual reasonable clock. Remember to take environmental sciences, kids. Okay, opponent plays a Forest and Intro to Prophecy, which is the card we knew they got. Then they have an Honor Troll. They attack us for 3, that's fine. We untap and draw Show of Confidence. Go to combat. Attack with everybody. No blocks. In that case, we're just going to put another 1/1 counter here and try and do a little bit more damage. Okay, pass the turn. They play a land. They pay Professor of Zoomancy. They attack us for 5. We go to 10. Untap. Alright, I'm just going to concede rather than show them anything else. Not drawing lands for 6 turns sucks. Alright, run it back. We'll play first. We'll keep. Oh, we do need to draw white mana. I, for some reason, saw this as Plains Swamp. One of the Silver Quill Pledge Mage, Blood Researcher, and Tend the Pests. Tend the Pest is a very powerful effect, so I think I'm going to take it. Although, probably taking Blood Researcher might be better. I'm going to take Tend the Pests. Pass the turn. We need to draw Plains, and we need to draw it this turn. Nope. Okay. This was a bad keep. Oh. That's what I get for being distracted by something else. We untap. Okay, we drew the Plains. Perfect. So we're going to lead on Elite Spellbinder here. And we're going to take... They have Forest, Swamp, Novice Dissector, Blood Researcher, Pledge Mage. We're going to put Blood Researcher in the Exile Zone. Opponent untaps. They'll probably go Swamp, Pledge Mage. Okay, we untap. Draw Pilgrim. Play Pilgrim. Get a Plains. Play a Plains. Go to combat and attack for 3. Okay, opponent goes down to 17. Okay, so opponent played a Forest, played a Novice Dissector. We untap. We draw Combat Professor. That represents the most damage we could do this turn. But I think what we're going to do is play Pilgrim, get another Plains to make our land drop, then play the Orator, or Orator. I have no idea how to say that word. Hit them for 3. So opponent untaps. They play their Forest. They play an Eye Twitch. I think what we're going to do is go for a Defend the Campus Anthem play this turn. Unless our opponent's got something else pretty good. Honor Troll. They have 1 card left in their hand, and they have a Blood Researcher they can play next turn. So we untap, we draw Swamp. Play the Swamp. If we Anthem, we trade up to all of their guys, unless their last spell is like a Lash, and they can give this flying to block here. I could potentially wait and just play like Spiteful Squad. Then we can attack for 2 in the air and they can't do anything about it. Yeah, let's try that actually. This already has Vigilance. There's nothing we gain by playing it first. Go to combat. Is this only if another creature is attacking? Okay, you have to just control another creature. Fair enough. Oh, I could have potentially given it Death Touch if I thought that mattered. Okay. Opponent blocks with Eye Twitch. They learn. Getting a Pest Summoning. Play Spiteful Squad. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Okay, so opponent plays Pest Summoning. Silverquill Pledge Mage triggers. They're going to give it Flying. They get some 1/1s. They attack us for 3. That's fine. We untap. Draw planes. Play the planes. They have no flying blockers. So let's go with Combat Professor. Trigger will give Spellbinder Vigilance. An attack here and here. Opponent's going to take 6. Pass the turn. I don't think there's any reason to not go as wide as possible. The only Wrath in black in this format is like 8 mana and a rare. To my knowledge, anyway. They get a forest. They learn something else. Introduction to Prophecy, and they cast it immediately. So they're going to give Silverquill Pledge Mage Flying and Lifelink. And they attack us for 3. There's no reason for us to block here. Okay, we untap. We draw Essence Infusion. So I can Essence Infusion and defend the campus. And there's not a lot my opponent can do about that. So go ahead and Essence Infusion. Go to combat. We'll give this 1/0 and Vigilance. Thunderous Orator is also going to get Lifelink. So basically, however they block, we're going to Anthem. We'll just eat their whole board and gain a ton of life. We're currently presenting lethal with what's getting by. Alright, they scoop. Cool, on to game 3. Well, I hope we get to cast Liliana this game. I really, really hope we get to cast Liliana this game. Professor Onyx. So. Otherwise, we'll just have a dead Mythic in our deck all like 7 games we've played. Yeah, this hand's not keepable. Alright, we'll keep this. Put back a plains. Opponent leads on Witherbloom Campus. We draw plains. We'll lead on Swamp, but I don't want to lash until I can show of confidence in the same turn. Opponent plays a Swamp, passes. We draw another plains. Play a plains. Play Thunderous Orator. Raider. Still don't know how to say that word. Pass the turn. No, I don't want it to use my microphone. Orator. Okay. Thunderous Orator. Okay, we untap. Draw Spiteful Squad. Play a Swamp. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent no blocks. So what we're going to do is hold priority. Lash of Malice our own guy. In response, Show of Confidence. Okay. Same targets. Hit him for 6. Pass the turn. And now we have a 4/4. Seems good. They had Culling Ritual. This is sad. Play a plains, play Spiteful Squad. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Alright, opponent plays a Master Symmetrist and then attacks with Honor Troll. We'll just take the 2. We untap. Draw Essence Infusion. Play a plains. Play Essence Infusion. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Opponent's going to trade, so let's Beaming Defiance. Kill the Master Symmetrist, gain 6 life, and go to 22. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Blood Researcher. And a Springmane Servant, gains some life, hits us for 2. We untap. We draw Go Blank. Well, might as well Go Blank them. I only have 1 card left. It's 10 to the Pests. That's kind of important. Pass the turn. If we draw a land, we can play Professor Onyx, which would be sick. 4 mana. Opponent scries on their main phase. They play another Witherbloom Campus and attack us with Menace. So we take the 3. Untap. We draw Promising Dusk Mage. So play the Dusk Mage. Go to combat. And attack for 4. They can double block to trade, but that would not work out well for them. They go to 13. They play a Mage Hunter and attack. No blocks. We'll take 6. We untap. Draw Swamp. I think we'll just pass now. Yeah, we can't currently race on this board. This is bad if and only if my opponent draws Go Blank or something else equally great. As far as keeping the land in hand, I mean, though. That's the only way that my opponent can make keeping a land in hand wrong for me, I should say. 4 mana, they scry. They play a land. And then they're attacking with Mage Hunter. Why would they be doing this? They don't have an onboard trick for this, right? Like, we just do that? Okay, sure. We draw Silver Quill Apprentice, so we just play it. That's the turn. That was a very incredibly questionable Mage Hunter attack. Unless they... I don't know if they scryed and left something on top that relied on having a creature in the grave, which is possible, I suppose. Oh, they're just scrying this turn. Alright. Then they pass. We untap. We draw Combat Professor. Play Combat Professor. I'm going to give the Spiteful Squad Vigilance and attack with it. Because at least right now they'd have to double block to kill it, and we could stack all the counters on Promising Dusk Mage. Okay. Opponent takes 5. They untap. And they scoop, giving us exactly 1 game, or 1 round in our favor. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more of it, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few times have been earlier than that. And yeah, you're all wonderful human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of May. If you want to support my channel directly and have your name show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below. Thank you all.